Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and yeah, I think it's time. It's time, enough waiting, to rank all the movies I saw in 2024. So yeah, I had no idea what game to play because, with many different kinds of movies, there was a specific Lego game I could think of, so I just decided, you know what, I'll put on Marvel Spider-Man 2, we'll put on this beautiful city background as what we can look at, make this video more podcast style. Oh man, that looks so beautiful. I'm gonna take a screenshot, hold on. So that's what I decided to do, and yeah, strapping, this is probably gonna be a long one. I don't even know at the time I'm recording this if this is going to be 1 or 2 videos. So you'll know, you watching right now when you're watching, but me recording, I have no idea yet because I don't know how long I'm gonna be talking. But I have a feeling it's gonna be a while. So let's go. So I haven't seen as many movies as some other people have. I have seen 23 movies this year. So we'll see how this goes. So alright, let's just get started. Let's not waste too much time because, like I said, it's probably going to take a while. So, in last place, number 23, what I guess is technically my worst movie of the year, Borderlands. Yeah, so this movie was funny is I've never played the Borderlands games, to be honest with you. I've never played the games. I knew what they are. I knew they existed, but I knew very little about them other than they had like this very cartoonish like art style to them, but while still being very, very hard M rating because of violence and language and gore, stuff like that. And I knew it had the guy. I've seen the cover of Borderlands 3 with the guy that hurt, with the guy on the cover with that like mask type thing. But other than that, I didn't really know anything about the Borderlands games. So I was actually invited to see this movie, so I thought, you know what, why not? Even though I hear it's absolutely terrible. When I watched it, I didn't think it was absolutely terrible. However, I didn't necessarily think it was good. And as you can see, my least favorite movie I've seen this year. And, oh man, my biggest problem with it is it was just very generic and kind of boring at times. Because, like, I thought the trailers looked good. I thought, oh, it's Guardians of the Galaxy ripoff. I'm okay with that. I like Guardians of the Galaxy. This could be funny. It's got a good cast. But no, it was just just a very generic. I'll be honest, I'm never gonna watch this movie again, probably. And which is sad because I think this had potential, and I actually did hear that went through a lot of rewrites. So it's very sad that I have to put it this low because it did have potential. I could see the potential of this movie, but so yeah, my worst movie of the year. Even though I don't like going that far, I don't like saying it's the worst movie, but it's not that good. It's kind of very generic. All right, next up, number 22, I got Argyle. Oh man, I thought the trailers for this movie looked great. I thought this looked like it could be a really great, fun spy movie. It's got a great cast in there. It looked like it was gonna be fun and funny, and it does. It has its moments. It has some cool action moments, some cool action scenes. It's got some moments that made me laugh. That's why it is above Borderlands, because there were some standout stuff in the movie. But the movie overall just was not as good as I was hoping it would be. Unlike Borderlands, it's definitely not generic, but it just has a lot of story problems. I feel like my biggest thing that annoyed me. So, well, first of all, there were some logic problems where there's like some just outlandish things that happen in this movie that you're just kind of like, why is this happening? Especially because like the first half of the movie felt, I don't know if I should say grounded, because it still was fantastical. But it felt more grounded, more realistic, more comprehensible, I guess I could say. And then the second half, things got crazy, where our two characters are dance fighting with a bunch of like colorful fog and smoke. The scene that I feel like a lot of people point to, where they're somehow able to ice skate on oil on a solid floor, which I did not think was possible. But my biggest problem with the movie is that is how they do twist for twist's sake. They literally, like, there's so many twists in this movie, and they're dumb. They do it, there's too many. Like, okay, so I don't even know if I could tell you every single twist, because there's so many that's hard to remember. And I've only saw this movie once back in February when it came out. so I haven't seen it in a while. But like, for example, if I could do, there's so many twists. Let me see if I can remember. So like, twist, Agent Argyle, it is actually Bryce Dallas Howard's character. I forget her name. I just remember the actress. Oh, big twist. And Sam Rockwell is her boyfriend. Oh, what a twist. And then guess what? Big twist again. Her parents are actually the bad guys. Oh, no. Another big twist. She's actually a bad guy. She just lost her memories. Oh no, how terrible. Big twist, she kills Sam Rockwell. Oh no, big twist, she's actually a good guy. Pretending to be a bad guy. Okay, twist, Sam Rockwell's character is alive. Twist, this other character we saw die earlier is alive. Twist, Henry Cavill, which is who she kept seeing as Agent Argyle, exists as another person. Twist, this whole thing takes place in the same world as the Kingsman movies. Twist, just kidding, none of the people you thought were Agent Argyle, because this guy talking to this guy in the bar is Agent Argyle. Like there's just so many twists. It's twist for twist's sake. There's way too many. I don't even think I remembered all of them. Like, I'm pretty sure there were more twists in there that I'm not remembering. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. That's my biggest problem with the movie, where I like me a good twist. Heck, I even like me a good twist. Occasionally, maybe a twist will be good. But this movie does a twist. Why does it do that? Just cuz. So that's my biggest problem with the movie and why it is so low. But like I said, the first half was good enough so it wasn't in last place. But it just, to me, so much wasted potential, because I thought the actual concept, that they pitched with the movie, with she writes books and spy books, and these spy books end up actually happening. And you know what? The twist of her being Agent Argyle is okay. And then they just go overboard with the twists. So, because I forgot, they also do twist, Sam Rockwell's a good guy. Twist, Sam Rockwell's a bad guy. Twist, Sam Rockwell's a good guy again. What? Oh my goodness, there's too many. Let's move on. Alright. Next up at number 21, we have one that's actually kind of disappointing, because I thought it could be better. Number 21, I got Joker Fole Deux, aka Joker 2, aka what I've seen people call on the internet, Joker Fole Deux. Wow, this movie is disappointing. Now we're getting into the DC stuff, so stuff that I know pretty well. In case you don't know, I actually really like the first Joker. I know that that's a controversial movie. Everybody has different opinions on it. I personally really liked it. I thought it was a great story. An emotional, hard to watch at times story, but still a really good story that was being told. Just not one that I'll be rewatching a whole lot. So I thought the second one had potential, even though we didn't really need a second one, because I thought the first one ended in such a great way where you're questioning whether or not what we saw was actually happened or not. But they decided to make a sequel because the first one made $1 billion, so obviously there's got to be a sequel. So I thought, well, there's potential, especially with it being them introducing Harley Quinn. My gosh, this movie was just... No, this movie was boring. The musical numbers were terrible. Like, there was no need for the musical numbers at all. They don't do anything for the story. The whole movie, just nothing happens in this movie. Like, literally nothing happens. For a while, Joker's pretty much just sitting in prison, waiting for his court date to come. That way they can say that he's got a dual personality instead of just a full-on murder, so that he doesn't get I believe it was so he doesn't get the death penalty. Or was it just a life sentence? I don't even remember. And then the second half of the movie is just him in a courtroom trying to say, I don't even know what they were trying to say. There was very little good in this. And then guess what? None of it matters whether they would have won or lost a court case, because he's killed at the very end anyway. So who cares? It doesn't matter. Technically, that ending means that the first one also didn't matter. Nothing we saw with this character matters, because it's not even Joker. Joker kills Joker. This Arthur Fleck. This movie is just so disappointing, and I could see the potential of a good movie, which is, I think, the main thing that picked it up above the previous two. As I watch it, and when I watched it, I saw where there could be a good movie there. There was a good concept, but it wasn't that. There was, like, one good scene though that was actually good, where they bring in a character from the previous movie. I think his name was like Jingles or something like that. I don't remember. It was one of his co-workers from the first film that he let go, even though he killed another guy right next to him. That scene, that courtroom scene, was really good. I talked more about it in my ranking of the comic book films, so you can check that out. So I'll try not to go too far into this, I've already talked too much about Joker 2. But that was a good scene. It was like the only good scene in the movie. All right, I'm trying to move on to number 20, kicking off the top 20. I got another comic book film, Madden Web. Yeah, I like this movie more than Joker 2. And the reason for that is because, no, it's not a very good movie. It's not well made. The terrible ADR. I've talked about this movie a lot, I feel like. Review comic book movies of this year ranked. I'm doing a Sony Spider-Verse. I recorded Sony Spider-Verse movies ranked. I'm not sure if you're going to see that yet or not. But I feel like I talked a lot about this movie, and it's very meh. I had fun with it. I watched it in the theater. I had fun with it, but there's a lot of bad with the movie. Just the story's weak. Product placement and stop the bad guy, which I thought was hilarious, even though it wasn't very good. There's some logic issues too with this movie, like with the villain's plan being kind of just not very good. It's just the movie could have been better. I thought this had potential. Not many people did, but I was hoping, man. But no, it just wasn't very good. But that's okay. All right, next up, at number 19, I got Red One. Yes, the Christmas movie that has Captain America and Black Adam. I mean, Chris Evans and The Rock. This movie was fine. I thought it was fine. I do enjoy when they make Christmas movies, taking like the Santa mythology and stuff like that and putting a twist on it, doing something fun and interesting with it. I find that to be a lot of fun. So when I saw the trailers of how they were doing this, how they were making like Santa like this, like Santa like this awesome jacked and fit guy with like security detail with The Rock. J.K. Simmons was awesome, by the way. We need more of him. I thought this looked like it could be a fun Christmas ride, and it was okay. My big disappointment is that it didn't make me laugh as much as I was hoping it would, because to me, the trailers did look funny. Not enough to make me laugh out loud, but I thought, well, probably because, they're saving the best jokes for the actual movie. No, not really. All the jokes were just, they got a chuckle out of me, but, I was hoping to be laughing out loud the entire movie, and I just chuckled here and there. So that was my biggest disappointment. But overall, it was a fun time. They were telling a sweet story, especially when it comes to Chris Evans and his kid. That was a really sweet story that they did. But it just didn't do enough for me to make me absolutely love it. So it doesn't get too high. But hey, it makes the top 20. Granted, I didn't watch too many movies this year. I only watched 23. But, still. Alright, next up, at number 18, we're back to the Sony Spider-Verse with Kraven the Hunter. Again, another one I've already talked about a whole lot, I feel like. I think it's okay. I like the R-rated action scenes are fun. But in between the action scenes, I was not as engaged with the story. The story was not very good. The Rhino was not a very well done villain or well developed. He was just evil for evil's sake, it seemed. So a lot of problems with the movie. Some CGI, some ADR. But Aaron Taylor Johnson made it fun at least with the action scenes. But yeah, I'm not gonna I don't want to talk too much about it, because you can go check out when I ranked just the comic book movies, because I dive more into detail with that, or I also got a review, Sony Spider-Verse ranking, so don't want to spend too much time on it, but yeah, fine. Action scenes were the highlight. Alright, next up, we finally have one that I have not talked about before. That, at number 17, Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire. Ah, man, this movie is like the definition of dumb fun. Because, this movie is enjoyable. The human characters aren't very strong. They're very weak. I personally have really enjoyed the MonsterVerse so far. Godzilla for 2014, really enjoyed it. Kong Skull Island, I believe 2017, really enjoyed it. Godzilla King of the Monsters 2019, really enjoyed it. Godzilla versus Kong, I think that was 2020 or 2021. I really liked that one. I liked that one the most. I thought it was a blast. It was so much fun seeing the monkey and the lizard duke it out, destroying the city, and then they team up to duke it out with the Mechagodzilla. Was fun, and now we get this one where they team up, and I thought it was fun. I thought it was fun. The story is not strong at all. The story is very weak, in my opinion. The human characters are very weak. And I didn't really care whenever the human characters were on screen. I was just like, okay, can we get back to the monsters again? I really want to see, I want to see big monkeys and big lizards duke it out with other monsters, destroying cities. And that's what we got when we get to the final act. The final act is a blast. First of all, we get to see one kaiju suplex another kaiju. As someone who does watch wrestling, that was awesome. And then we just get this amazing action scene in the finale where Kong and Godzilla are tag teaming up to take on, I won't lie, I don't remember the villains, but it was another monkey and I believe another lizard. And they duke out in this city. It's just so much fun. The city gets absolutely destroyed. It's a blast. It is so fun. It is not a very well-made movie. I don't think I've rewatched it since seeing it in theaters in March of 2024, but seeing that destruction and mayhem on the big screen was a blast, especially because I did sadly miss out on the other MonsterVerse films in the theater. But even though it's not a very good movie, it's not a well-made movie, it ain't winning no awards, I thought it was a blast. So definitely not the strongest of the MonsterVerse movies either, but still a fun time, so I like it. All right, number 16, I got Kung Fu Panda 4. This movie is good. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I like the first three a lot more than this one. I love the first two Kung Fu Pandas, personally. I know I don't talk about these movies a whole lot. Kung Fu Panda 1 and Kung Fu Panda 2, I think, are great. I think Kung Fu Panda 2 might be my favorite, but I have a hard time. I go back and forth. I think they're great films. I thought the third one was really good, and this one was good as well. I did enjoy the story that they were telling. I do like the idea of telling a story of, well, Poe's learned what he needs to learn. Poe has been the Dragon Warrior for a while now. Now it's time for him to become a teacher. It's time for him to teach someone else Kung Fu. It's time for him to become a sensei or master like Master Shifu. Like how Master Shifu was to him, he's got to become that to someone else. I thought that was a really good story to tell. I know Awkwafina in voice acting roles for some reason annoys people. Actually, in any role seems to annoy people. I think she's fine and fun. I thought she had funny moments in this movie. The movie was funny. It just wasn't nearly as good as the first three. I personally felt the Furious Five missing. I wish they were in the movie way more than they were. I don't think they were even in the movie. Like, if they were, I don't really remember it. Although I won't lie, I didn't miss this one in the theater. I ended up watching it when it came to streaming. But yeah, I enjoyed the movie. It was funny. I liked the story being told, even though it just wasn't as good as it could have been. Would I watch if they continue the story with the Kung Fu Panda 5 and 6 like I believe they are? Yeah, of course I will. I still enjoy it. Until they make it bad, which I don't think they will. I'm still enjoying it. Alright, let's move on. To the top 15, we have another animated fourquel? Is that what you'd call it? I don't know. Number 15 is Despicable Me 4. Yeah, I know a lot of people think this is bad. I don't care. I enjoy it. I thought this movie was fun and funny. Now, I grew up with the Minions and Despicable Me. I think that the first film is amazing. I think that the second film is really, really good. Heck, I even think Minions Rise of Gru was pretty good. I think the first Minions and Despicable Me 3 are on the weaker side, in my opinion, but I still had fun with those. I don't care how juvenile the humor is, it still makes me laugh. At least a majority of the jokes. Not all of the jokes, but majority do. So, now this movie does have a lot of problems. First of all, there's so many plots going on in this movie, like way too many plots going on in this movie. I personally wish they would have picked one and stuck with it. Like, personally, my favorite plot that I can actually remember is the plot of Gru teaching this little girl. I don't remember her character's name. She's voiced by Joey King. I don't remember the character's name. But that girl wants to be a villain, and she wants to get into this villain school. And she forces Gru to help, otherwise she'll reveal who he really is, because him and his family are undercover and hiding due to another villain trying to get them. And she says that if he doesn't help him break in and steal, I believe it was the pet, I forget what the animal was. And throughout this thing, she thinks that Gru's out of it. You know, he's been in the good guy game too long, and he hasn't been a villain in so long that he's got to be out of the game. And he shows that it doesn't matter. He's still the best villain in the world. And I just found that plot to be a whole lot of fun. I enjoyed that. Everything else outside of that plot, I mean, they got some laughs out of me with a couple of the plots. Like Lucy's side plot had a couple moments that made me laugh, but for the most part, it's just like, well, why? And the Minion side plot, which is a superhero parody, I think could have been a series of shorts. They do have Minion shorts out there that are I still find funny. I don't watch them. I haven't watched any of the new ones. I think the last time I watched was 2015 with the first Minions. But I think the superhero parody stuff could have been shorts, or at the very least be the only side plot they had, because again, there's so many side plots going on. They should have just cut most of them out and stuck to the Gru, I don't remember the girl's name, Joey King side plot, because to me that was my favorite plot line. Whenever that plot was on, I was actually engaged and really enjoying it. And I mean, come on, we're going on another heist with Gru. It's fun, and he's teaching this newcomer how to be a good thief. It was a fun time. It's just this other stuff outside of that. So that's why I have it as high as it is. But that's also why it's not much higher, because so many plots going on. Anyway, I gotta move on. Next up, at number 14, I got Beetlejuice. Now I just gotta make sure I don't say it one more time. Otherwise, well, you know what will happen. You've seen the movies. But yeah, so funny enough, I don't have any nostalgia for this movie. There are people who saw this movie and have a whole lot of nostalgia because they grew up with it. You want to hear a funny story? The first time I saw Beetlejuice 1 was when I was going to see Beetlejuice. Oh shoot, I just said Beetlejuice 3 times. Dang it. I don't say anything. I think I'm good. Yeah. And it shocked me because I watched Beetlejuice for the first time a couple hours before going to see Beetlejuice. And I loved it. Like, I was not expecting to like it. I mean, I might enjoy it because a lot of people seem to think it's great, but I'm probably not going to love it. No, I really liked it. And that first Beetlejuice movie, to me, wasn't even great because of Beetlejuice. I mean, don't get me wrong. Michael Keaton is hilarious. He was hilarious in the movie. But to me, what I liked was the story that they were telling with Lydia Dietz. I almost forgot her name. She's not Joyce Byers in this. She's Lydia Dietz. Still, can't get Stranger Things out of my head. But was her connection to the two ghosts, who I'm also forgetting their names. I know the one was Alec Baldwin. I don't remember the actual movie names. But their story with them dying, and then them moving on to the afterlife, trying to be alone in their house. This new family moves in, but they form a connection with Lydia Dietz. That whole story there, I really enjoyed it, and that's one of the reasons why I like it. And I think it's gonna become a yearly rewatch for me come Halloween season. That's how much I liked it. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking so much about the first Beetlejuice movie. That came out back in the 80s. It ain't a 2024 movie. What is the sequel, Beetlejuice 2. And it was fun. Yeah, it was fun. Not nearly as good as the first. I love that first one. This one was pretty good. I enjoyed it for the most part. It did make me laugh a bunch of times throughout the movie. A lot of that being Michael Keaton. He's still hilarious. But the story was much weaker, and there was so much. Again, this was similar to Despicable Me 4. This one had so much plot lines going on. There were so many plot lines, and sometimes plot lines just got forgotten. Like the one plot line that I feel like it started the movie with Jenna Ortega's character, I forget her name, Wednesday Addams. It's kind of funny. Wednesday Addams, one of Netflix's biggest shows, is the daughter of Joyce Byers, also from one of Netflix's biggest shows. That's kind of funny. Anyway, her falling in love with this kid, we find out that he's actually a ghost, and he's trying to he's trying to get Jenna Ortega to replace his spot in the afterlife, and then it's just solved halfway through the movie when Beetlejuice, drops him in fire or something like that. And that plotline's just over. It's done with. Now we're moving on to this other plotline. Like, there's so many plotlines going on, and they don't get proper conclusions. Beetlejuice's ex has a big plotline, which seems like they're building it up to be something, and it was absolutely nothing in the end. Like, literally, you could have removed that plotline and nothing would have changed. So that's what the biggest problem is. I felt like they had ideas for a second, third, fourth, and maybe even a fifth Beetlejuice movie, and they crammed it all into one, and it just didn't work out. But I still had enough fun. I still had enough laughs in the movie that I got this high. That was weird. So I enjoyed it, even though not nearly as good as the first. Alright, next up, we're coming in to number 13. I have Homestead. This is a movie that I don't think people talk about too much, probably because it is from a smaller studio, and I wasn't even planning on seeing this, to be honest with you, but I was invited to go see it, and I thought it was a really good movie. I thought I really enjoyed it. It was a pretty good story about this bomb going off, and there was moments in it that were actually scary, like because it was pretty realistic. Like, the stuff in this movie that happens could actually happen in our real world. Like, it's not fantastical. It's not a zombie virus or a robot apocalypse or anything like that. It's or alien invasion. It's realistic. A bomb goes off, people panic, and they go to this homestead, and it was scary and emotional because of that, but it was like really good. I thought it was really well done, and I think the cast was really great in it. Oh, I think most of them were smaller names, but they did a great job in the film. So yeah, I saw it. It wasn't really on my radar too much, but when I was invited to see it, I said, you know what, why not? And it was pretty good. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be rewatching it a lot or anytime soon, but it was really good, and I definitely think it deserves to be up high. I ended up putting it a bit lower than I probably should have, but I still thought it was really good, and I definitely would recommend checking it out if you're someone who hasn't, because I feel like this is one that not many people have seen. If you haven't seen it, I say check it out because it was really good. It might scare you, it might make you cry, but it will also give you hope because it does end on a hopeful note, which is really good. So, which was really good. So yeah. All right, next up, we're getting back into the Marvel side with stuff I've already talked about. Number 12, Venom: The Last Dance. I'll be honest with you, the reason why this one is above Homestead is because I could see myself rewatching this one more often, probably because it is just like dumb fun, and that's exactly what this movie is dumb fun, just like Godzilla x Kong. Not a lot of people like this movie. A lot of people say it's bad, and I mean, there are very weak stuff in it, like Venom makes a stupid decision of dancing with Mrs. Chen, despite the fact that it puts himself and Mrs. Chen in danger, but who cares as long as he gets to dance with Mrs. Chen. I talk about this movie a lot. I find it fun. Third act is a blast. Seeing all these symbiotes battle this giant monster is fun. I enjoy it. I had a great time. And it does have some feels in it. Not enough to make you cry or anything, or at least not me, but it had some feels to it. And I really enjoyed it. I haven't seen it again, but I could see myself rewatching it because I had a good time watching it. Again, don't want to spend too much time on it. I got other videos talking about it. So let's move on to number 11, Moana 2. Yeah, that's right, Moana 2. I got Moana 2 here. And again, I actually like this movie. I think it's pretty good. It's not as good as the first, not nearly as good. I do really like the first film. I thought it was really good, really well made, catchy songs. This one was alright. I mean, the characters were still likable. The story adventure we were going on was fun. The songs were good enough, but they were definitely much weaker than the first. Like, I can't tell you any of the songs from the second film. I could from the first one. You're welcome. So Shiny. Where the line meets the sky. I forget. Oh, well, I know the beat of that song. It calls her. That song. Moana 2, I can't tell you a single song from that movie. It could be because they sadly couldn't get Lin-Manuel Miranda, who is just like really good at making songs for musicals. but I still thought it was a good time. I could tell, if in case you didn't know, it was actually originally going to be a Disney Plus TV show, but they decided to make it into a movie, which was a smart idea because it's if it didn't already, by the time you're seeing this, at the time of the recording, it is very close to hitting $1 billion. So, you know, that was a good idea on their part. I could tell that it was originally a TV show, but it was still enjoyable, so I still really liked it. Hi, this is B from editing, and yeah, this is going to be 2 parts. This is where this video is going to cut off. So go ahead, check out part 2, which will be my top 10 movies of 2024. Go check that out. And thank you so much for taking time to watch this video, and hopefully the next video, because this got long, and so will the next one. So see you there. Thanks for watching.